ghost chair. Most importantly, welcome. I'm super happy that you're here. I'm grateful that you showed up to practice today. This is a gentle practice, but all of our bodies are different and we have different practices. So please take extra good care of yourself. If something that we're doing isn't working, I encourage you to either take it down a notch or pause and breathe, because that is a big part of our practice. Pause and connect to your breath and rest whenever you want. People think just because it's gentle, they should get moving the whole time. Rest whenever you'd like. Also part of the practice. So you can just sit, have your feet connected to the ground. If you'd like, close your eyes. If not, just have a soft gaze. Let your face relax. And take a few breaths, just showing up right here, right now on this beautiful day. Noticing each inhale and exhale. Not trying to change them in any way, but just observing. And where do you feel the breath? Where do you notice the breath? At your nostrils, in your belly, in your chest. And as you're here breathing, I will share a little passage called The Legend of the Jack-o'-lantern. It's by Christy Ann Martine. There once was a witch who lived down the road. Selling fine pumpkins, many she sold. Another witch, a witch that I knew, stood by the road but sold very few, for hers were all rotten with holes in them too. One fine day those two witches met. Now that's a day I'll never forget. Witches scuffling up in the air, pumpkins flying everywhere. In the end, they were battered and bruised, surrounded by pumpkins no one could use. They had no other choice but to make amends. Some even say those two became friends. They put their witch heads together and gave it some thought, then carved faces in pumpkins, some scary, some not. They sold them as lanterns on the side of the road, and to their bewitchment, every pumpkin sold. Today, those jack-o'-lanterns are still burning bright, guiding our way each Halloween night. A sweet little story about maybe becoming friends with somebody that pushed your buttons. Bring your hands to touch in front of your heart, or you can let them rest on your heart. And let's send out some really good, unscary wishes, blessings, prayers, whatever calls to you. Send something good out into the world from your heart outward. When you're ready, blink your eyes open. You can release your arms, and we'll just start by making a few circles. We're going to stir the cauldron with our torsos. So just moving your body around. It can be big or small. And notice as you start moving, does the breath stop moving? We want to always notice and come back to the breath. That's our anchor. You can switch direction. And make your way back to center. Staying tall, keeping your head in neutral. You're just going to turn your eyes a couple times. Be gentle and kind, but look to the left and look to the right without moving the head. Saying hello to the muscles around your eyes. And then you can look down and up a couple of times. Please don't give yourself a headache. We're trying to keep the head still. And then maybe you go all the way around. You draw a circle in each direction-ish with your eyes. Okay, this breath is called S breath. For today, we'll call it snake breath, even though I'm not a fan of those guys. We inhale through the nose, and the exhale is through the mouth, making the sound of the S, like a hissing sound. And you'll exhale all the way. You'll feel all the muscles around your torso contracting, contracting, contracting. And then you'll inhale through the nose, and you'll make this sound for your exhale. If it starts to create any feeling of like, oh, I'm dizzy, my exhales are too much, then take a couple regular breaths and then come back to S breath. I'll do a couple. I'm going to turn my head away from the microphone so I'm not too loud. So you inhale through the nose. As long as you can, and then an inhale through your nose, and again, S, snake breath all the way out. We'll do 3 more rounds. One more round. When you finish, let your body breathe on its very own rhythm, just in and out of your nose. That's one of my favorite core exercises. You can feel the whole side, front, and back body, all the muscles contracting in your torso. Now you may like to stay back in your chair, or for this stirring the cauldron, perhaps you want to come forward a little bit and maybe take the legs a little wider. And you'll just grab your big utensil and we're going to stir the cauldron. Maybe you have the teeniest, tiniest little cauldron and you can switch direction whenever you like, stirring the brew. Ha ha. And let's stir with the other arm. Small or big, switching direction whenever you would like. And both arms, stirring. Mine smells like pumpkin spice and everything nice. Switching direction. And pause. Maybe bring the legs back together. Feel your feet on the ground. Sitting tall. We'll take 3 breaths here. Skull and crossbones. So you can touch your skull anywhere, front and back, and then crossbones. And we do skull and crossbones. Skull and crossbones. This is a yoga flow. It's a vinyasa right here. Skull and crossbones. It's hard to touch somewhere different. Maybe crossbones off to the side. Skull and crossbones. How's your breath? Skull and crossbones. One more time. Skull and crossbones. Let your arms hang down. Each inhale, you can let your arms float up just about to shoulder height, and then they float down. Consider linking your breath to the movement. Maybe an inhale, your arms float up, and exhale, float down. Follow your breath. Notice if you're rushing. We try to come to gentle yoga to unrush. Maybe your zombie arms float out to the side. Maybe they float on a diagonal. Inhale, exhale. A few more, or pause and rest. Last one. And pause. Let your hands rest on your thighs, palms up or down, or maybe one of each. Full in-breath, and maybe a flutter. We call that one horse breath. You can take inhale through your nose. Exhale. One more time. I'm turning my head because of the microphone, but you can as well if you'd like. And you'll bring your hands up now to your witchy hat. Use your imagination. What does it look like? Maybe some webbing, some mesh. Maybe there's a spider on there. And we're just going to lift our hats off and then put them back on. And then lift your hat off and put it back on. Is your hat heavy? Oh, really pushing, lifting the hat. Or it could be very light, like a feather. Hat lifting off and coming back. Lifting and back. Notice your breath. Breathe all the way from your waist up through your arms, up through the tip of the hat. Finish the one you're on and try one more. Good. And then little skeleton shaky arm. Just let your arm relax. Little shake asana and switch sides. Little shake asana and nice side bend. And other side, shake asana. And side. And one more each way. Shake, shake, shake. Beautiful. For cat cow, a couple of choices. You might like a cactus arm. I'm going to turn to the side so that you see. Cactus arm, as we open, we reach the heart and we arch. It's the back bend part, the cow. And then the forearms can come together on the cat pose. Scared Halloween cat. This with the cactus arms really focuses on the upper back. You can make that kind of rounding in your thoracic spine, and then you try to reach chest forward. You can also have your hands on your legs, and you can find a cat cow with your arms down. See which one feels better. Maybe try both. And because it's a day of tricks and treats, if you'd like, you can add on your cat pose, meow, meow, meow. And on your cow, moo. This is very good for your breath. Cat, meow, meow, meow. And cow, moo. This is much, much more fun when we're in class together, mooing and meowing together. So hopefully you're representing over there. Meow. Moo. Maybe a scary one or ow. Moo. And how about one more? Thank you, spine, flexion and extension. And you'll come back to neutral. You can stay forward in your seat, or you might like to scoot back a little. And we'll take thread the needle. So we'll talk to the hips a little bit. You might cross your right leg on top of your left, just like this, like a fancy sitting position. And that could be just enough for today. If you'd like, you can have more of this figure 4 shape, or your kind of ankle and shin on top of the left thigh. So right leg will be on top. You can stay tall, stay upright, or you can lean forward a little bit, see what that has to offer. And while we're here, let's add a few ankle circles, just a few in each direction. Oh, my ankle's making a scary noise this morning. Not really scary. Noises are okay. All right, let your foot rest. Staying in our thread the needle shape, leaning forward or not. Take 3 really deep breaths and feel free to sigh it out and make noise on your exhale. Maybe a ha, like a monster sound, or just a big, beautiful exhale, letting go, letting go, letting go. 3 times. And coming back up to sit, keeping the legs as they are, or perhaps going into the crossing of the legs, we'll take a twist. So the right leg is on top. We're going to twist to the right. Thread the needle twist combo platter. Maybe it looks good back behind your right shoulder, or perhaps you want to look neutral or forward. Feel free to move your head a few times. You could look back and forward. Notice your breath while we're twisting. That's always a place to be curious. Trying to create still an easy, gentle breath. Coming back to center. Releasing the right leg. And we'll take the left leg on top, crossing, or maybe coming to figure 4 shape. Any shape that feels good, staying tall or leaning forward. And a few ankle circles, each direction. Different side, different information. Breathe, breathe. After you've done a few in each direction, you can let your foot rest and decide, leaning forward or staying tall, 3 big breaths, filling up through your nose and really allowing a big exhale. You can stretch your face out, stick your tongue out like a lion's breath. And coming back up for our magic twist, we'll twist to the left. You can change the legs if that's better. And then where does it feel good to look? Over your back shoulder or neutral or forward? Thank you, neck. And let's take 2 more full breaths here. Coming back to center, releasing the leg. And let's pause just for a moment before we come to stand. Feel your feet on the ground. Notice your breath. And we'll move our chairs out of the way to come to stand. My ghosty chair. So you can use your mat. We're going to play with balance a little bit. Zombie arms, balancing. You can use your mat, or maybe if you have a hardwood floor, one of the boards on the floor. But if you walk on the edge of your mat, let your zombie arms float. And you're just on your very own balance beam. If you're bored with balancing like a zombie, close your eyes. It really changes things up. Please don't fall. Just open your eyes. Maybe one of your legs gets stuck forward. And you're standing and balancing, and then back to zombie walks. What about backwards? Yes, I see some wonderful zombie arms. Maybe you want to go as wide as your mat, and this is a teeter-totter. It's still balancing, still a zombie. Teeter-totter. And there's that moment where you're balancing with one leg floating, or maybe the toe is touching. And you can also try backwards. And when you're ready, just come back. Stand in your Tadasana, mountain pose. Whole body breath. Inhale and exhale. One more time. Feel your feet on the ground. And now you can grab your broom if you have one. You can grab a pumpkin if you have one. I know you have a blanket or a pillow, so I'll show a few ways. We're going to take our prop and go around the body. So the broom makes things a little interesting. We're going around the body. Let me show if you're using a pillow or a blanket or a pumpkin. Same idea, you're just going around your body. You can squeeze your shoulder blades together each time. Some wonderful work for your upper back and beautiful stretch across the chest. Any prop will do. I've been experimenting with pumpkins lately, but this broom is kind of fun. How's your breath? Please don't knock anything over in your house. Be very careful. Scary yoga. Switch direction. And notice your spine. Oftentimes when we travel around the body, we change the spine. That's not bad, it's fine. But see if you can stay in a neutral-ish shape as you reach around. And maybe you want to switch direction one more time. Good. Hold your prop. Just let it balance. Take a full breath. And one more. And one more. And you can release. We'll come down onto our mats. You will not need your broom. You would want a couple of pillows and a blanket. I'll put this broom over here. The other day it fell down, so we don't want that. So supporting your head and your neck and having a couple of pillows handy. Any kind. These I'm taking from my couch. One is actually a little bigger than the other. So there's no worries if you don't have the perfect props. You have something that will work just fine. And we're going to lie down on our backs. All right. Oh. Welcome to the earth. You can hug your knees in. We'll stir the cauldron a little bit more here. The legs can stay together. And you just make a few circles in each direction. You can notice some gentle movement of your lumbar spine, your low back, as you roam around with the legs. Switching direction. And coming back to center, your knees will be above your hips and your arms up toward the sky. This is called dead bug. I usually call it resting bug, but today will be extra scary. You can take the legs and the arms wide and back together. Wide and back together. Holding the legs up here sometimes is like, woo! You are more than welcome to let your feet rest on the ground, and the legs can still do this movement. They just open up like Supta Baddha Konasana. So either way. Just a couple more. Noticing perhaps your inner thighs. Again, the chest. And release. Let your body stretch all the way out into Shavasana. Take a full, whole body inhale and a whole body exhale. And one more like that. Full body inhale, full body exhale. And go ahead and bend your right knee. You'll keep your left leg long, if that's all right. I'm going to let the right leg go out to the side and come back up. Your arms can rest wherever. I have my hands on my belly. Letting the right leg go out and come back up. And you're not trying to get it to touch the floor. Wherever it goes is beautiful. Beautiful. And notice the pace. Again, we're unrushing, talking to the right hip a little bit. And the next time your right leg goes out, you can leave it out. Maybe put a pillow underneath the leg for support. You can scoot the right leg in so that the foot is touching the inner left leg. This is trick or treat pose. Your left leg is long. You can flex your left ankle as if you're standing on the leg. Bring your hands to your heart. This is perfect balance tree pose, trick or treat pose. Perhaps you want to grow your branches. You can reach your arms up and over. Grow your branches any shape you would like. One might be out to the side, one might be on a diagonal. Maybe think of a tree that you've seen or a favorite tree. Vriksasana. Inhale, tree, exhale, tree. Few more breaths here. Hands come back to your heart. One more breath here. And you might like to use your hand or hands to bring the right leg back up. Bend your left knee. Then you can switch your pillow to the other side, preparing. We'll take the right leg out. And the left leg now stays bent, but goes out to the side and comes back up. Completely different, maybe, on this second side. Exploring external rotation in our hip. And the next time your left leg is out, we'll stay there. You can add a prop if you'd like, placing the pillow under the left leg, scooting your left foot in to touch the inner part of your right leg, and maybe flexing the right ankle. That really puts some action into the leg as if you were standing on it. And then we'll bring hands to heart center, feeling what it feels like to have perfect balance in tree pose. I love this variation. And maybe grow your branches. Two more full breaths. Hands back to heart center. Another breath here. And bringing your leg back up. And this time, stretching both legs all the way out. If it's more comfortable for them to be bent, do that. Both arms can reach up and over. Full body stretch. Big breath in. Maybe a gentle sigh out. And bring your arms down, bend your knees, and we'll roll to one side, coming into fetal pose. Take your time. If you need an extra blanket or cushion under your bottom hip, you can add that. I like to take a pillow between the legs, quite comfortable. And you can add another pillow under your head or adjust your blanket so your head and your neck feel supported here. Fetal pose on one side. When you're ready, you'll make a claw with your top hand. Got this top arm and hand. We're making a claw. Take your claw to your shoulder, top shoulder, and we're making some circles with this top arm, small or big. Switching direction. And pause, let your arm rest. You might close your eyes. As you take a full breath here, think about your back body and breathe into your lower back and your upper back. And when you're ready, again, take the pillow out. And we'll talk to the hips just for a moment, this top hip. So your leg can stay bent. You'll imagine that there's a wall behind you. So you don't want to lean back and to stay fairly neutral. And you'll lift and lower the leg. Any amount. Probably feel some side hip, buttock. If you feel like it, you can straighten the leg and go up, and then you can bend and go up. So this is a little bit of a brain tease, one with the straight leg and one with a bent leg. These can be quite sneaky, so do not ever think you have to keep going. You can stop and rest. We'll just do perhaps one or two more. When you finish, it's nice to do a little tappity tap, tap, tap. Thank you, thank you. Hip and buttock. And you'll roll over to your other side, setting yourself up with your cushion in between the legs, supporting your head and your neck. Second side. Take your time getting there. Scary claw when you're ready to the top shoulder. And we make some circles, any size. Switching direction and noticing as we move through this shoulder and hip on this side, if there's any differences that you notice. One more time around. And you can let your arm rest. Take a few deep breaths with your awareness on your low back and your upper back. And we'll remove the pillow. And let's check in with this hip. So the legs are stacked, neutral spine-ish. And we lift and lower the leg any amount. And maybe it's super fantastical for you if you want to try one leg the leg straight and then your leg bent. If it's eerie, skip it. And how is this feeling? How is this for your breath? If you're holding your breath, maybe pause and rest the hip. And we'll do one more, maybe two more. How are you doing? And we pause and rest and tappity tap, tap, tap. Thank you, thank you. And please make your way back onto your back and have one pillow on each side. Support your head and your neck. We'll bring the soles of our feet to touch now. And let the knees come out, but really support the thighs. You want your support, your cushions way up by the hip joint. So you're supporting the legs. You can add more, but we don't want this to feel active. We really want to find a restful place here. You can also choose to have your legs straight out over your cushion, if that's better. And your arms will start down by your sides, but please make sure your legs are comfortable. And feel the connection of your feet. If your legs are straight, notice the connection of your heels on the ground. And we'll revisit our zombie arms. As we inhale, you let the arms float up just toward the ceiling. And exhale back down. Inhaling up. And exhaling down. Almost like your arms are floating. Let it feel very soothing. And finish the one you're on and consider one more. And let your arms float out either into a T if that feels good, or maybe a cactus arm. We'll pause here. You can close your eyes. We'll call this Supta Buddha Kanasana today. Just allow your body to breathe. And notice if your mind wandered off, you just gently bring it back to your breath. And we'll stay here for about another minute. Focus on each breath. If you feel 1,000,000% comfortable where you are, you could allow this to be your Shavasana today. You might at least change your arms so that they're in a more relaxed position, maybe hands on your belly. Otherwise, you can draw the knees together, let the legs straighten out over your cushions. Arms will come to rest by your sides, palms up or down. And add anything else that you need to be comfortable for rest. The most important pose, Shavasana, corpse pose. I'll let you know when it's over so you can allow your eyes to close. No more work to be done, just beautiful rest. You may decide to rest longer, or you can begin to deepen your breath. Allow each inhale to get a little bit fuller than the one before. And wiggle your fingers and your toes. And reach your zombie arms up and all the way over if you'd like, stretching through your whole body. And when you're ready, bend your knees, roll onto one side. Pausing in fetal pose, just to notice how you feel after practicing. A very playful practice today. Nice to gather here with others and play, breathe. You can set an intention here for the rest of your day. Bring yourself up to sit. And bring your hands together. We'll bring them in front of the forehead. We'll keep the two witches that became friends in mind. Hands in front of your forehead. May you share good thoughts with yourself and with others. And hands to your mouth. May you share good words with yourself and with others. And hands to your heart center. May you share good love with yourself and with others. Thank you all for showing up, for being here. Happy Halloween. Namaste.